Hello, guys. So, welcome to painting, starting to paint. um, I was super tired this morning, but I got a American Art Collector magazine to inspire me. Um, it's my hero on the inside cover, Aaron Weisenfeld. I don't know how to say his last name. But yeah, I love his paintings. Um, kind of, people think it's kind of dark or something because they're like girls that are lying in the field or something like that. But I don't know. I love his paintings. They're just so like the characters are painted so like they don't care. They're just brave girls traveling. Um, yeah, just the paint quality is awesome. So, and then I came across this other artist, which I thought was really cool. They call him like Punk. His name is Mark Dennis. So he painted this like, I guess it's like a cherry tart pie, but then if you look closely, there's like a piece of hair in it. Which side is it? It's like on the left side. I don't know, right, left? But yeah, I thought it was really like clever. And he does stuff like this is like a replica of a really nice master painting, but then he like paints all these other like reference photos, I guess, or like homages to other artists around it. So I thought that was really cool, and maybe I should incorporate something like that in here. Like I guess that's what makes contemporary art contemporary art to have something like rebellious or something. I don't know. So yeah, it got me thinking. And then I came across this book called Women of Courage, and it has like all the women in the Bible. And I was like, if I'm gonna say something about Esther, it probably should be accurate. So I will read something from here. So let's see, Esther. Day 29, Esther. Let's read. Yeah, this devotional was interesting because it was less about Esther and more about like her caretaker, who's like this eunuch in the harem named Haggai. Let's see. Let the king appoint commissioners in each province of his kingdom so that they may gather all the beautiful young virgins to the harem at the fortress of Susa. Put them under the supervision of Haggai, the king's eunuch, keeper of the women, and give them the required beauty treatments. So this was interesting to me because apparently before you see the king, like if you're in this harem, you have to do like 6 months of beauty treatments, and then like let's see, it's like a year because it was like the harem regulation required her to receive beauty treatments with oil of myrrh for 6 months, and then with perfumes and cosmetics for another 6 months. So yeah, this girl is in a spa. When the young woman would go to the king, she was given whatever she requested to take with her from the harem to the palace. Let's see. Yeah, so this eunuch like really took care of Esther, and like um I think she like gained his favor. So um he says accelerated the process of the beauty treatments and the special diet. So I don't know, maybe she was going like keto or something that she received. He assigned 7 hand-picked female servants to her from the palace and transferred her and her servants to the harem's best quarters. So this devotional is more about like I think it says like being hospitable to people. How it says our lives can change in unexpected ways when we are brave enough to accept hospitality. So less about how Esther was brave, but how God provided her what she needed through this eunuch. So interesting. Let's see. Yeah, so stuff to chew on while you paint. So yeah, I don't know how I'll make this like contemporary art or whatever. Maybe I'll like paint like a post-it of like an Esther verse, like my dog is yawning, in the back or something like that, so it's like hip. But yeah, okay, so I'm gonna start doing some kind of like a burnt umber wash. You would like use a lot of thinner. I use Gamsol, Gamsol. You mix it with burnt umber or something dark brown, and then kind of do a wash over it, and then you use a rag to like wipe out the lights. So kind of like think of the wipe as an eraser, and then you wipe things out. And then later you would paint out the paint in the opaque, which is like the thick thick light tones onto the light part, you know, and then leave the rest kind of transparent. And having things transparent and brown in the back kind of makes it go back in space, and then having things opaque kind of makes it jump forward. So yeah. Okay, so I have my uncleaned Gamsol in here in this tin, and then I'll probably I'll like wash it out so then it's less dirty. Pour it in, and then let's get started. Hopefully I'll figure out how to speed up this video later so you're not so bored. Let's see. Burnt umber. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Where is my palette? Oh yes. I see other YouTubers do this where they put their glass palette or whatever palette to show what colors they're mixing. But right now I think it'll just be this color. I usually can never open a paint bottle, so I usually need a wrench. Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Let's see if this works. This is like the pickle jars of my life. Okay. Come on, baby. Okay. Yes. Cool. Let's paint. Big brush. Should I use a brush? Big brush? Maybe I'll try some coarseness to this one. Okay, dip a little with. I used to be super like OCD about not getting paint on my dog, but now it's like whatever. Okay, let's see how this goes. This is kind of like new to me too, so I'm a little approaching this with a little like not sure because what do you call this is like some kind of wood panel from Michael's, so not like traditional canvas or other wood panels I've worked with. So I hope it, you know, it's not like horrible. My plan is to have the light come from top left corner, so I should actually be darkening this side. I don't know. I had a great there was a great artist tip once I heard. He was like, just don't care about what you're painting, because when you care too much, it like things just look bad. Let's see. Of course, you could also not care and also look bad, but maybe like the messiness will make it look contemporary. Okay, let's see. So, interesting thing I think with this panel is this dries really quickly compared to like this canvas panel cloth I used before, so it might not work with the rub out I was expecting, but that's okay, you know. My friend was like, "You're like Bob Ross," and I'm like, "Yes, happy ellipses." Okay, I guess I'll just make a mid-tone then for now. I actually should have done this before I did the line drawing, sorry, just to establish. I've heard some people call this the mother color, or just like a Gamsol wash. Hope nobody fact checks me. Okay. I did kind of think of the values of this picture before I started. When I say value, like there's 3 components of color. There's value, hue, and saturation. So value is basically like the darkness of an image. If you work with Photoshop, like you could usually see those 3 sliders. I was thinking her skin would be kind of light mid value, and maybe have a cast shadow there, and then the background would be kind of light, and she'd be standing on in a temple anyway, so I guess those kind of stone floors would be pretty light anyway, so that is the plan. Let's see, sky would be here. I'm thinking of putting curtains right here. Well, yeah, when you think about oil painting is the rule fact over thin. And I think, don't fact check me on this, I think it is fat is your liquid or your medium. As you think of oil painting, you will paint layer on top of layer on top of layer, right? As one dries, you glaze over or paint over. So your bottom layer, your most like closest to your canvas or material is the backest layer, and that should be the most thin layer. So it should have the most Gamsol, your most thinner. But as you come up painting, you should add more and more liquid or whatever medium you're using, and that's the fat, like literally oil, like fat. So fat over thin. but don't fact check me on that. Okay, I'm gonna add the curtains. And then one of the things I read like at the beginning of Esther is the king, he had like he had these like really nice gardens outside, and there were just drapings of purple cloth. So I'm thinking that might be like the drapings here behind her here. And I'm thinking it'll also be nice to have this here because it will pop Esther's face off of a dark value. But then I also have to think about her hair color. Her hair color, or people's hair color, often frame their face, because like say I'm looking at like portrait painting atelier book, like see how her hair color frames her face. So like my black hair is framing my white face, or thinking of value more than color is what builds structure in a picture. So if the darkness and lightness kind of fit together like a puzzle piece in a picture, then it builds structure, and whatever color you lay on top of it should work. Okay. So I'm like a very detailed person, so I'm really trying hard not to think about like the folds of this curtain or like any other thing. Okay, let's see. So already there's this kind of like feeling to this picture. Kind of framed it with a mid-tone. Trying to think what color her clothing would be. So in my like crappy value study, her skin is like light middle tone, right? And it kind of gradates down to her legs. I think her dress might be kind of white. Let's see if that works. And I bought these really nice flowers in the grocery store. Apparently, not only is it like almost Easter, but the flowers of Persia are like lilies, roses, and tulips. I couldn't really find a tulip, but here are carnations. And I hope to paint something like this in her crown, you know. I might add to some of the context in this picture. Paint her face with a little bit more. I'm like kind of like thinking as I go, because this is such a new material to me. This board, so yeah, skin. Thinking, while also still thinking that the light's gonna come from the top left corner. I'm not sure if she'll be backlit or not, because you know, like this. We'll call it like a window here, right here, where that myrtle tree is behind her. So she might have to be backlit. But another thing I learned from one of my teachers was you could kind of just fake lighting, as long as it kind of makes sense with the general direction of light. Like in cinema, you could just put like a spotlight wherever the side of my face too dark, someone could just pop a spotlight and like put some, you know, reflected light on my face. Okay, so yeah, we already have, um, just like with a wash like that, we already have, you know, some idea of our values. Obviously, not the cleanest thing, and that's okay. Think of painting as just modifying on top of your under layers, like constantly. Um, that's my washing machine. Okay, I'm gonna make the scroll kind of in school, they were pretty clear on what what values you should use. So sometimes it might help to have like five, like darkest, and then have like a white or like a very close to white tone here, and then have like four values in between, so you can kind of keep your value structure really clear. One thing I forgot to mention while drawing the ellipses, while I was nerding out on my ellipses, was as the ellipses go into space, they do get more fat. So these ellipses versus these ellipses are fatter. Okay. The scroll, like yesterday, because I was like, crap, like I think the scrolls, they come with like two wooden dowels. Like if you like made them on a lathe, you'd have two poles to like unravel it. But then thank God I looked up, like there are some like 17th century ones from Persia, like really like literally a scroll of Esther, like in Persia, and it's like made in the 17th century, and it's like this, but then there's like a ribbon or like some kind of metal branch that like you pull out, so it's just one dowel. So it makes this legit. The legs should get darker as you go down. Um, and of course, that's faked too, because if you're in sunlight, the sun is like so far away from the earth that like no lighting will gradate, you know, really. Light only gradates in a room because there's fall off. But the sun is just so far away from the earth, like you will never see fall off, right? So I'm gonna make, so this is faked, maybe because this is some kind of palace or something that Esther is in. Trying not to paint over the planes that we made yesterday. And when you do a shadow, you should think of it almost like a line that goes through her whole figure, and that's part of like the structure of the value, keeping it tight. So tying all the shadows into like a line. clavicle neck. This is like my washing machine sounds like Jumanji. Thinking, so one rule about just general composition is you shouldn't break up your composition in equal parts. So literally, one of my classmates used to like take a ruler and be like on the edges of his picture and be like, is this equal to this? Like this, this space equal to this space equal to this space. So like you have to practice it so much so then like your mind is like, even when you're watching movies, you're looking at the outer edge of the frame always and seeing like, are the shadows on the edge like equal or not. But like when you're drawing, when you're beginning drawing, you naturally would just draw like like equal things all the time, and then you have to like really fight it to break that pattern. So like like this on the side here, like this value, I mean sorry, yeah, this shape here is smaller than this shape, so that's like, so literally like in cinema or like in entertainment art, you would be like, okay, that's like third like 30 60, that's like 20 80, like, so yeah, just always be conscious of the the size of the shapes, that they're not equal in your image. Just have this image of um, is it Robin Williams running with those two kids? Jumanji. Is it Robin Williams? Okay. Um, oh yeah, I was gonna make this modern. Where will I put that post-it? So it's weird. Like, I think I'm like a year behind reading the what's out there, but it was like I just heard of the coastal grandma look. I thought it was hilarious. I was talking to some ladies at a store about it. Man, it's like combining COVID fashion with, like just not caring anymore, I guess. So coastal grandma is like, you have like a straw hat, I think, or like something maritime, and you combine it with like pajamas and sandals, and like you're just ready to jump on a yacht, and that's coastal grandma. I gotta like dig up my straw hats and tote bags. I should probably check that um, washing machine, but so we'll see. Yeah, this is, I'm pretty happy like with just, you know, like how are we in 52 minutes? We're like, we got a solid structure. We got, you know, her limbs and arm and flesh kind of popping out, that myrtle tree in the back. We learned about proportion of composition. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Yay! Thank you for watching, and have a happy Easter. God bless. Say bye, boo.